Welcome to this episode of Consider It Blacklit. I am Kim, your host, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, Consider It Blacklit highlights films, television programs, and stage plays that feature African Americans both up front and behind the scenes. We also discuss social issues as it relates to some of these programs and how they may or may not impact our communities. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope you continue to tune in each week. Today it is my pleasure to highlight a short play that will premiere at the NYSummerfest Theater Festival in August in New York City. It is about a young poet who lives with HIV. He hides it from his friends and family, but he must eventually confront the person who he holds responsible for giving it to him. The play is called Conscience, and I am especially excited to highlight it because I'm the one who wrote it. Today, as my guest, I have the young woman, an emerging stage director who brought this story to the stage, and the star of Conscience, Sheleah Harris, the director, and Livingston Steele. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you guys here, but before we start talking about the play, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourselves? We start with Sheleah.
Well, my name is Sheleah Harris. I am from Newark, New Jersey. I have been in theater since I was about 10 years old, mainly acting. I went to school for it. I went to the University of Pittsburgh, where I got my degree in theater. So I've been acting basically my whole life. And I recently went into film to start doing some film projects. So that's basically me, the theater girl.
So Livingston, why don't you tell us, the audience, about you?
Well, I'm from Newark, New Jersey as well. As a kid, I started out in music first. So I was a musician first, but over the years, as I left school, I dove more into acting. It was an interest of mine as a kid, but once I finished school, I was able to actually study a little bit more professionally. I was able to do like off Broadway in a couple of feature films. So it enhanced my thirst for acting more, and as I'm getting into like writing and directing, it's more so learning more about the craft and building with it.
Oh, excellent. So Sheleah, how did you become interested in directing?
Well, I come from a theater background, like I said, and just working with a lot of different directors. And I noticed myself when I was being directed going, I want to do it like that a lot. And people always told me, like my fellow actors, you have a director's eye, so why don't you just try it? But I was scared. Like it was something completely new to me. I haven't taken directing classes, so I just needed to just get thrown into it, and I finally got the chance.
Yeah, it seems like you have a natural talent for it, so I'm sure you will do well. This is your first time directing?
Yes.
Okay, what is one of the biggest challenges that you're having in putting on this production?
Getting to the rehearsal stage. I just want to dive in and start rehearsing and blocking and seeing the moments happen. The before is my challenge because I'm not used to doing the behind the scenes, getting the actors together, getting the paperwork. So that's my biggest challenge.
Okay, it seems like you're doing it good, but you know, you'll get there.
I'm trying.
I know. You have your executive producer and your producer pushing you, so you'll get there. Conscience is a script that I wrote years ago. I mean, it could be a good 7 or 8 years ago. And I wrote it, I was inspired to write it because a friend of mine who had HIV, we were very close, he wasn't telling anyone and he was sleeping with people, unprotected sex. So it inspired me to write a story about it. Let me ask you this, how did you become acquainted with the script? Because I had it, you know, I submitted it to BET and it became like one of the top 10 finalists. They used to have this Wrap It Up competition where they asked people to submit scripts. But after that, I never produced it. I put it on the shelf, and then all of a sudden, you guys were doing readings. So why don't you tell me how you became acquainted with the script?
Well, the producer of the show, I auditioned for one of his productions maybe 3 years ago. And we just kind of kept in touch. And the last time around, I'd say like September of 2017, he randomly called me. He's like, oh, hey, what are you up to? I'm like, oh, nothing. And we started talking, and he just gave me the script, and he said, read this. And I said, oh, I like it, and I want to direct it. So that's how I became acquainted.
And by the way, the producer's name is Tony Wilkes. That's what we have in common. That's who we have in common. So tell me how you became involved, Livingston, with the readings.
So what Sheleah called me about the script, because we actually got reacquainted from doing an off-Broadway production, and she noticed that I was acting, so she called me and sent the script to me. And when I read it, I was like, this is really good. There's so many range of emotions for the character, and it tells an interesting story. So I was already on board from once I was able to read it. Then she introduced me to Tony Wilkes, and we were able to do the stage reading, which ended up being a good success.
Oh, good, good, good. So how many readings did you do? Just one?
Just the one,
Oh,
yes.
just the one. What was the audience reaction to it?
They seemed to really like it. I was kind of nervous because it wasn't really a theater audience. It was just our friends and family, like my coworkers came, and they were really receptive. We didn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It was just the actors acting and the script, which provided great things for them to do. And the audience really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, I kind of look forward to the play, because even though it was in that competition and I didn't attend the readings, I really want to see what the audience reaction is. You know, me as the writer, I kind of want to see it. Yeah. So, Livingston, what made you want to do the actual play that we're doing? Because you actually, Sheleah, even though you guys are friends, she made you audition again, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we talked about that. That was fun because if I got the opportunity to play, because it was a really strong piece, and that's what attracted me towards it. I wanted the opportunity to audition for it and come even with a different sense than I came with the stage reading. Because the stage reading is a stage reading and the play is completely two different worlds. It's like an introductory, but it's not to the extent even of Conscience himself when you read the play. So when she gave me the opportunity, I really, really did want it, because it gave me, like, every actor wants that role that's going to show the different ranges that they can play, and or at least the attempt. So it was like just the excitement of it, and the fact that it tells a story that a lot of people still can identify today. So like she gave me that opportunity, and we auditioned, and I mean now we're here.
Yeah, I heard you killed it, okay, because you read one of the poems in the play, and I heard it was so good that the producer was like, wow, where did you get that from? And you guys were like, it's in the script, right? So how did you, like, just kind of embrace that poem, and, you know, what made it so special for you that you gave such a, like, outstanding performance during the audition?
Well, with the poems in the play, it seemed to tell a different story of Conscience, and it showed each emotion of him. So he's not just a one-note type of person, even as creative as he is. So I thought with that poem, since it was, in a sense, sexual, it was a way for him to show a playful side, and I actually played with that role instead of just thinking of talking to the audience, talking to like one person as if she was my girlfriend, and playing around with the words and knowing what the words actually mean so I can utilize it and when I was able to deliver it.
Okay. I can't wait to hear you say it. You remember any of the words? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm just like, wow, I can't wait to hear it. But you know, in due time, I'll wait. I know a lot of actors sometimes when they play roles, they find parallels. Do you have any parallels that you see in the character of Conscious?
I would say the pain as an artist. Like, I believe every artist, and you correct me if I'm wrong, like, goes through some type of pain that they draw from to create. And I feel as though, like, he was drawing from that pain that gets determined the play that causes him to be able to be the great poet that he is and be able to relate to people around him.
Okay, and that's how you relate to him when you do your craft.
Yes.
Right. So, like I had said, Sheleah, even though, you know, you had actors in the reading, you were like, I want to audition everybody. And I know that some people came who were in the reading who auditioned. What did you look for when you were choosing the actors for the play?
I think that actors need to be able to take direction and adjustments. So everyone who came in, regardless of how good or how not so good it was, their initial audition, I asked for an adjustment just to see if they could do it. It could have been something that I didn't really need, but I just wanted to see if they were able to give it. And that's one of the things that I really looked for in the auditions, and everyone took the adjustment as well.
Oh, that's
so I was
good.
really happy
That's
about
good.
that.
So what you tell us some of the other actors that are in the play.
We have a lot of great talent. We have a few actors from Jersey. Two of them were in the reading, and they are coming back. The father, his name is Oliver Pinkert. We have Camille Copeland. She initially played Shelley in the reading. She's going to come back this time as our Tasha. We have New Jersey actress Yolanda Hamilton. I hope that's her last name. She's going to play the mom. We have some New York talent as well. One of the talents we have is Stephanie. She's going to play our Shelley. She knocked me out in the audition. I loved her audition. And we also have Martin Borromeo. He's going to be our narrator. So I'm really excited to work with them.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So the play is going to be in the New York Summerfest Theater Festival. Sheleah, you have participated before in that festival. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the festival, what it is, how many plays they have in it, and anything you can share about it.
They have a lot of plays. It's a rolling festival that they do over the year, just different time. They have the winter they do, and then the summer. My initial experience with the festival itself, the play I did, it wasn't a good experience, but the festival itself I enjoyed. The director of the festival, I don't know if he's still there now, he saw the initial play that we did, it was struggling, and he offered his help to get us up so that we can put the production on. And I really enjoyed that. It was a really comfortable experience. So.
Okay, so it seems like he's very supportive
He's very
of getting
supportive
these productions
of the
on.
productions, yes. He was very supportive of us as actors when we were there because we kind of had to take the reins on that particular production, and he supported us. He gave us what we needed, the help, and I'm very excited to work with him again. I hope he's still there.
Okay. Well, I hope he's there too. Tell me, who in the industry do you admire, and who do you pattern yourself after, or whose career in the industry do you want to pattern yourselves after? I'll start with Sheleah.
I love Angela Bassett. Her range, she does theater, she does film, she's started directing. So if I could just be a little bit of what she is, that would be amazing.
Okay. What about you, Livingston?
I would have to say Idris Elba. Because of his range, because of his able to go into theater and to direct as well, because he just did his first debut as a director as Yardi that got into Sundance and then in London, and he actually does music on the side. So
yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So he's like a DJ in England, and throughout the U.S. and internationally. So I like his diversity and I like his range as he takes on each types of roles. Even some roles you haven't even heard of, but it's the story that he's able to tell even if he's not the lead.
So why don't you guys tell, I know both of you act, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about some of the other roles that you've had? Livingston, we'll start with you this time.
So the first role I've ever played, I got the opportunity to be a supporting role in a feature film called Savior. And I was a thief. I was a thief, but I was a thief that had a reason of being a thief. I had lost everything, and with my best friend, we actually robbed a bank because we needed to support ourselves.
And how did you relate to that character?
It was more of a sense of desperation. I feel like when you come with a character, you come in non-judgmentally. So you're seeing an emotion or action that someone may do or may not do, but it's non-judgmentally. Like everyone gets mad, everyone gets sad, everyone has desperation, everyone may steal, they may not. But looking at it and being able to see why he's doing it and relate, I feel like every person can if you try or have the experience to. So it's like being able to use my experiences with any type of role and non-judgmentally see where the character is coming from through their eyes.
Oh, okay, okay. What about some other roles you've done?
I played that. Right now I'm doing a short film as I'm playing an African engineer. It's called Forbidden.
You have a good African accent?
I'm trying on it, I'm working on it.
Okay. Well, I'll put you on the spot if I ask you to do it.
Nah.
Okay.
But I did practice that more of a sense because the character was from Ghana. And it's an interesting tale of a love story, if you will, but a big twist of events of that can challenge a man's ego or challenge the morality of a man. So I thought that was an interesting film to be a part of. So that's what interested me, even being part of that as well.
Okay. Livingston, you mentioned that you write. Do you have any writing projects that you're working on that you'd like to see come on stage?
Originally, like, I reached out to Sheleah because I was working on a web series. I was able to put together a web series called The Theory of Brick City Music, which I was able to get into the New York International Film Festival in 2016 and get a nomination for.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So, like, over the course of 2 years, we have redrafted the script, put more depth into it to make it a full feature, like, web series type of format. And I am actually shooting it this week.
Oh, cool.
So I would say it's interesting because it was originally we created it to, like, help with artists and showcase a story that we felt like should be told. And I was using it to learn the different parts in the craft of acting, writing, and directing. And because I do feel like it does somehow, some way come in full circle. And over the course of doing it, like she said, it's different as the actor because you have to deal with all the other things. And you're like, wow, there's so much that goes into a production. It makes you appreciate it even more, the even opportunity that you get it done. Because a lot of people do start film projects where they don't finish.
And now you understand.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of parts to it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So it's like growing as an actor, you know the importance of even the script supervisor, the line producer, even the cameraman, because it's just like if one person's off, it throws everything off.
That sounds exciting. Give us a little synopsis of the web series.
So the web series, The Theory of Brick City Music, centers around different artists around the city of Newark, independent artists and their struggles as artists in their mediums in the city of Newark, trying to make it as the artists in their medium. So for example, it follows the main character who's a singer sax player, who everything that can go wrong in the artist's life has happened, from him losing a parent to him becoming a complacent job and going up and down in the music industry to the point where he gives up. So we start the story there, but continue on being able to showcase different scenarios that artists go through as he goes on his story and recreate himself to create his own band and go through the music industry.
Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. We're going to have you back on this show so we could talk specifically about your web series.
Love to be here.
Sheleah, why don't you tell us about some of the parts that you've played?
Initially, I had a background in classical theater, so I did a lot of Shakespeare. One of my favorite shows I've ever done was Lysistrata. It was just a fun role to see women take the reins and be in charge and to be part of that. I loved. I've started doing some contemporary theater with some theater groups around New Jersey and New York. Last year I did a show called The Voodoo You Do, and I got to play a scamming, woman. She was, you know, like Miss Cleo. She was basically like Miss Cleo, and it was really fun because I love comedy. I think that's where I shine, but people really like to put me in dramatic roles. So to be able to play the comedic role in that show was really fun. I just did a web series called Hampton 1010, where I played Daniela. She's actually a lesbian character, the girlfriend to the main character who is a cop. So it was really nice to dive into that role and to play another side. I've never played a same-sex couple, so just to stretch my range was really nice.
Okay. So let's talk about the play again, just for my own ego. What's your favorite part of Conscious?
My favorite part is the second poem, You Should Have Protected Me. I don't want to give anything away. It's just a very intense poem and a way to put just a spike on the moment that just happened before where we find out how Conscious got HIV. And for him to just be able to just pour out his emotions rawly. And I love the moment. And I love how Livingston brought the moment to life as well.
Okay, so what's your favorite part, Livingston?
It's hard because even though it's a short, I don't want to say the whole thing, like just how the story is told. But I do. I want to say it's how the whole thing, like how the story is told. it captures you so quickly, and then it not abruptly ends, but it ends with you thinking, and like with it being so short, it still leaves you with something. And that's what I like about it. It wasn't drawn out, it was straight to the point, and it left you with something.
So when we do this play, what do you want to happen from this play? Like if you could predict the future and direct destiny, what would you want to happen? What do you see? What's your vision?
I would love to do the stage version off Broadway, hopefully leading to Broadway one day. I know that Livingston and Tony have been talking about actually putting up the film version. They're the film people. And I would love to see that as well.
What about you, Livingston?
I would like to do the film version of it, because even seeing how she was able to adapt it, and it was wonderful that she was able to break it up, theater, and being able to understand the difference between theater and film, still raising the stakes, still being able to show it in a different light. It was able to show me her just ability as a director, but then it showed me like how she was said as an actor. I have that same niche too sometimes where someone's directing you and you're like, I think differently. I think this could be way better, but okay. And not even an ego, just a different point of view. I would love to get the opportunity to make it into a film to show that point of view and add more so what's going on today.
Speaking about what's going on today, like I had mentioned, I was inspired to write the play because a friend of mine had HIV and he basically hid it from people. Do you guys, any of you have friends who've had it, and can you talk a little bit about, you know, how they handled it and how they interacted with other people? No?
I haven't had any friends. I know older family members who have dealt with it. It's kind of different now with the younger people. My older family members, it wasn't really something that they could hide. So it was just, it was what it was. I think younger people now, it's still very stigmatized. So I'm sure we probably do know some people, and they just haven't told us yet.
Do you think it's still more identified with homosexual versus heterosexual?
Yes.
Yeah, because the people that I know, well, I knew some homosexual people who had it too, but a lot of them were heterosexual. Yeah.
It's really sad because in our generation now, we still think of it as a homosexual disease, and it's not, and I think that's what's getting a lot of us in trouble.
Right, so. Because they think that if they're heterosexual, they're still not protecting themselves and they're still spreading.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to put up some statistics on the screen about how many African Americans are contracting HIV in this country. So, you know, everybody should practice safe sex, educate yourselves, and don't take it for granted.
Yes.
Right? Definitely. So what's up next? After Conscience, what are you guys working on, or what do you want to work on?
I would like to do more film projects. I've been auditioning like crazy. I just came from an audition before I got here. So that's my main goal, to just get into more
roles.
film. Yeah.
What about you, Livingston?
I like the balance of theater and film. I would like to do more film as well, but I do like theater. I do like what you get from theater over the years, and it's funny that people are like, oh, it's the same. It isn't, but it's a cool just a fact to be able to go back and forth and be able to appreciate each medium.
Yeah, so it's definitely different, I think. Theater, I think, it's more of interaction with the actors because they're live, you know, and I would imagine for the actors it's more rewarding because you're right there and you're seeing the responses from the audience too. So I always love theater too. Is there anything out there now that you particularly like or would like to see?
In theater? I don't know. You
know what? I want to see Felicia Rashad's daughter.
Okay.
Condola Rashad. She's in Joan. It's a story about Joan of Arc. I'm interested in seeing that too.
I want to see Anika Rose and Carmen.
Oh yes, Anika Noni Rose. Oh yeah, that's my girl right there. She's gonna tear it up. Have you guys seen the not the original, but the play with Dorothy Dandridge in it?
I know you're talking.
You guys are so young. These little young whippersnappers. Go look at Carmen Jones with Dorothy Dandridge and Harry Belafonte. Okay. You guys need to look at that and study it. It's awesome. Okay. Before you go see Anika Noni Rose.
Okay.
To understand. You know who Dorothy Dandridge is, right? Okay, I know
it is. Because when you said the name, I'm like, no, I know it is.
Okay, we got some education to go on. You little young whippersnappers, or either I'm extremely old. Do you guys have any questions for me? I mean, I know we email each other. We don't see each other a lot. You know, do you have any questions about me or anything else?
How do you feel about Conscience now in the theater festival? Because you originally wrote for film.
No. Well, I'm really excited. You know, as a writer, you're always a little hesitant, at least for me, to put my stuff out there because people tend to judge. And it really makes you feel good when you get a response back that people really like your work. So that's why when I heard you guys were doing the readings, like when I heard about the reading, I didn't think that much of it because Tony, our producer, is always doing stuff. But then I think I saw some things on social media where people really liked it, and then I heard about Sheleah, and she wanted to direct it, and she did an awesome job, and then she was like, okay, let's submit it for the festival, and it got accepted. I was like, oh, wait a minute. They like me. They really like me. Yeah. So, you know, I'm really excited. And what it has done is it has inspired me to finish. I have a lot of scripts that I've written during that era when I was really writing a lot of things, a lot of material. So I am going to complete a lot of things. And Sheleah has introduced me to another medium, which is the stage. So a lot of the plays that I have that I had attended for film, then I'm just going to relook at them and try to write them for the stage. So it's good to know you guys. So when we're ready to do that, we can do that. Anything else you want to ask me, or?
That was my question.
That was your question? Well, everyone, I encourage you to come see our play, Conscience. It's part of the New York Summerfest. It's going to be held at the Hudson Guild Theater. We will put information on the screen where you can get tickets. It's going to be 3 showings, August 16th, August 18th, and August 19th. Please come out and support this wonderful production with these wonderful young people who have brought this story to life. And I look forward to seeing Livingston's performance, giving it up with the poems in the play. So that's our time for today. And until next week, consider yourself Blacklit. Thank you.